Welcome back to the Begin Purpose podcast, and welcome to the next episode in the Body Mass Identity Weight Loss Identity track. In our last episode, we asked one of the most honest questions people carry after major weight loss. You lost the weight, so why don't you feel free yet? We talked about how the body can arrive at a destination while the self-story is still miles behind, and why the freedom so many people were promised never fully showed up with the number. Today, I want to continue that journey by starting to answer that question. This episode is called What Your Weight Came to Mean, because the reason so many people don't feel free has almost nothing to do with the number on the scale, and almost everything to do with what that number has come to represent. Let me ask you something, and I want you to answer it fast. First thing that comes to mind, no editing. Complete this sentence. When my weight goes up, it means. Did you hear it? For some of you, the sentence finished with something almost neutral. It means I gained weight. Fine. But for a lot of you, and you know who you are, the sentence finished somewhere else entirely. It means I'm losing control. It means I can't be trusted. It means it's happening again. It means I'll always be that person. 2 pounds on a Tuesday morning, and somehow the verdict isn't about pounds at all. It's about you, your character, your future, your worth. Today we're going to talk about how a number on a scale ever got the authority to say things like that, and how you start taking that authority back. In the Body Mass Identity framework, there's a domain called Body Mass Meaning. And it asks a question most of us have never been asked out loud. Beyond simply describing your body, what has your body's size and shape come to mean? About you, your worth, your future, your place in the world. Here's the thing. For some people, body size carries almost no symbolic weight at all. It's one trait among many, like hair color or handwriting. It's information, not a verdict. Those people can step on a scale, see a number move, and experience it as a number moving. I know, wild. But for many of us, especially those of us with a long history around weight, body size stopped being a physical fact a long time ago and became a symbol. And what it symbolizes varies from person to person. For one person, weight came to mean control, or the lack of it. For another, discipline. For another, lovability, health, success, failure, safety, whether you deserve to be seen at all. The meanings vary enormously. But here's what they all share, and I want you to hear this carefully. When body size becomes a symbol for something much larger, every fluctuation in that body stops being just a physical event. Every gain, every loss, every plateau becomes evidence for or against some larger verdict about who you are. Let me make that real. In the book, there's a woman I'll call Yolanda, 44 years old, and she described it like this. When I gain weight, it's not just I gained weight. It's like proof that I can't be trusted with anything. Proof that I'll always be the person who couldn't get it together. Sit with that. A 2-pound fluctuation on a Tuesday morning had become in her mind a referendum on her entire character. Which, by the way, as your doctor or nutritionist will happily tell you, is well within the range of water, sodium, sleep, hormones, and what time you ate dinner. 2 pounds of ordinary biology, carrying the full weight of I can't be trusted with anything. That's body mass meaning running unexamined. The scale reports a fact, and then something inside, call it the meaning-making machinery, turns that fact into a sentence. And I mean sentence in both senses of the word. Here's another one. A man I'll call Wendell, 58 years old. When he was asked what he said to himself when he looked in the mirror, he was stumped. I don't know. I guess nothing? I just don't really look. But as he unpacked it, he discovered that I don't really look wasn't the absence of a story. It was the story. And underneath it sat a meaning he had never once said out loud. If people really see my body, they'll see how little I've taken care of myself, and that will confirm I don't deserve care from others either. That is a heavy, heavy meaning to carry, and it's an inaccurate one. But notice, Wendell had carried it for decades without ever hearing it. That's how these meanings work. They don't announce themselves. They just quietly grade every glance in the mirror, every photo, every weigh-in, and hand you the verdict as if it were fact. Now, what do we actually do with this? First, let me tell you what we don't do. We don't pretend body size doesn't matter at all. That's not honest, and you'd see through it in a day. For most people, body size matters at least somewhat, for health, for comfort, for how clothes fit, for what your doctor is watching. This is not about forcing yourself to feel nothing about your weight. The work is gentler and more precise than that. We loosen the grip of the symbolic meanings that have attached themselves to the number, the ones that were never true in the first place. And there's one question that does more of this loosening than almost anything else. Here it is. If a friend I loved had this exact body, at this exact size, would I assign them the same meaning I'm assigning myself? Almost universally, the answer is no. Think about it. When a friend gains weight during a brutal season, a divorce, a diagnosis, a year of caregiving, you don't think she's out of control. You don't think he's giving up. You assume context, stress, a hard stretch, a body doing its best to cope with circumstances. You extend a generosity of interpretation to the people you love that you almost never extend to yourself. And here's the part I need to say plainly, because I know how it can sound. Extending that same generosity inward is not flattery. It's not going soft on yourself. It's accuracy. The compassionate read on your friend's body is usually the true one, which means the harsh read on your own is usually the false one. Same evidence, two verdicts, and you've been reserving the wrong one for yourself. A map, not a mirror. A snapshot, not a sentence. Your weight is data about a body. It was never qualified to testify about a soul. Let's bring this into the middle of your actual journey, because if you're on a GLP-1, or you're post-bariatric, or you're deep in a lifestyle transformation, this domain isn't theoretical for you. This means the meaning-making machinery is firing right now, maybe multiple times a day. And here's something almost nobody warns you about. The machinery runs in both directions. If weight gain came to mean failure, then weight loss quietly came to mean success. Success as a person, not just a change in a body. And that feels great, until the first plateau. Until the first 2-pound bounce. Until your body does what bodies do, and suddenly the same machinery that was handing you your worth starts repossessing it. If the scale can promote you, the scale can fire you. That's the deal you never signed, but somehow got enrolled in. This is why we do identity work alongside the physical work, never instead of it. Your doctor manages the biology. Your nutritionist manages the fuel. Your job on this track is managing the meaning. Nobody else can do this part. Practically, this week, it looks like this. At your weigh-ins, home or clinic, start practicing a simple split. The scale states a fact. Something inside adds a verdict. Those are two different events. Ask, what larger meaning is that verdict carrying? Is it about weight, or is it about trust, control, lovability, your whole future? Name the symbol. Just naming it, there's the control story again. Puts a sliver of daylight between the symbol and the self. That sliver is where your freedom starts. When your medication or your plan gets adjusted, notice if something tries to make that mean something too. Needing the dose changed means I failed. No, it means a clinician is tuning a treatment, which is what clinicians do. Fact, adjustment. Symbol, failure. Those are not the same event. And when a plateau comes, and one will, because plateaus are biology, not biography, you'll be ready for it, because you'll recognize the machinery reaching for the old verdict. You don't have to argue with it yet. You just have to see it reaching. All right, your practice for today, small on purpose, because in this work, the smallest possible step, done today, beats the grand gesture done never. Sometime today, catch one comment your inner voice makes about your body. A mirror moment, a food moment, a clothing moment, a photo moment. Just one. And ask it 2 questions. Question 1. What is this comment saying my body size means about me? Not what it says about my weight. What it says about me, my worth, my discipline, my future, my lovability. Write the meaning down in 1 sentence. This voice believes my weight means, and fill in the blank. Question 2, the friend question. If someone I loved had this exact body, at this exact size, Would I assign them this same meaning? And if the answer is no, and it will be, write down what you would assume about them instead. The context, the generosity, the accurate read. That's it. 2 questions, 1 comment, maybe 3 minutes. You're not fixing the meaning today. You're not arguing with it. You're just getting it out of the dark and onto paper, where you can finally see that the symbol and the self were never the same thing. And catch this, doing that exercise even once is a non-weight win. Real, countable progress that no scale can measure. Log it. It counts. One more thing, if you're working with a coach, a nutritionist, or a doctor, bring this with you. I understand. I'll stop the recording now. This podcast offers identity and self-reflection tools. It is not medical, psychological, or nutritional advice. Always work with your doctor, nutritionist, or licensed professional on decisions about your health, medications, or eating.